Alrighty, now we're live. Okay.
We good?
Yep, we're good. Alrighty. Let's start that over. We totally messed that up. How's it going, Knicks fans? We live on the post-game show. First game of the preseason. First game in like 275 days? Oh my
9 months.
God. That's ridiculous. Now we're live. Okay. Oh, no, I can hear myself. That is a disaster. Alrighty. Let's start. All right, good. How you doing, Zach? This is
Good.
You weren't on the pregame, but that's all right. You on the postgame show now?
We're here.
How you feeling?
Dude, I'm happy. We won.
Nice.
First time forever. Feels like we got a win.
Yes, sir.
Happy.
Good
It was
stuff.
a little sloppy at the end, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
But clean game overall.
Gotta fix a little bit of stuff with your camera. It's not your fault. It's my fault.
Oh god.
Here we go. Okay, so how about this?
My mic is really far. Could you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It makes it look like you're so zoomed in when you're really not.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Yeah, but you know what? That's okay. We'll just hop right into this. I started off the agenda last time. All you this time. I'll let you have the floor. What are you thinking?
Based off the game, I'm very happy. I was very surprised about the point guard situation. I thought Rivers would at least get a minute of play. Didn't see that. But we got a game on Sunday, so we'll see.
I will just say one quick thing about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's just not going to play the preseason.
Oh, I did not know that.
I didn't either, but I figured that out pregame.
Gotcha. Because I saw him on the bench, so I didn't know.
Right.
So I'll ignore that.
Yeah.
But then Frank was the sixth man. I like that. He played bad at the end, but that's okay because we had it. But we played like what Tom Tibbs said at the end of in his press conference. We played 40 good minutes of basketball, and that's what we did. And I'm very impressed. 9 months of basketball or without basketball, and we played pretty good.
Kind of touching upon that point, I totally agree. I was watching the post game with Tom Thibodeau as well. He said we played a good 3/4 of basketball. Now the problem is that last quarter, that was a train wreck. I mean, we had an 18-point lead, and it kind of was like, it wasn't even the third quarter. We were killing it up to that point, and then we just choked. And this is the same problem we had last year. We don't even have a closer on this team. Again, we don't have one. It really sucks because, quite frankly, we had Marcus Morris as a closer last year. I thought to myself, okay, we got this guy Marcus Morris. He's legit. He's doing well. I hope he mentors RJ. I hope he mentors Knox, Mitch. I didn't see it today. I mean, I don't know about you, but
no.
I mean, Randall
was clean.
He was.
I feel like he played a good game of basketball. RJ though, sheesh, he drove, but that shooting, that was bad. That was really, really, really bad.
Well, here's what I have to say about RJ.
Sheesh.
Okay. The first half that he played was disgusting, okay? I refuse to vouch for that. Now, I'm an RJ fan, and I'll stand by that. But the second half of basketball he played was pretty damn good.
Because he stopped shooting.
No, he started shooting. What are you talking about?
The threes. He couldn't hit a three.
Sure, but he was also getting to the basket pretty efficiently in the second half. I'm just talking about
that's shooting. No, that's driving. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
he drove efficiently, but he couldn't shoot.
He airballed a few threes. That was pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
But
that's when he stopped shooting. I felt like he stopped shooting then. After he got that, when he had a transition where he shot 2 threes in a row, and then Randall got his board, passed it to him, and then he airballed. That was it.
Well,
they called the timeout.
I made sure to take some screenshots of the first half so that I wouldn't lose it. Yeah, but RJ had 5 points in the first half of basketball, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot 2 for 10. Let me actually just pull it up on stream for those who are having a hard time following. Here you go. All right, so that's to end the game. But right now I'm covering how he played in the first half. So first half of basketball, boom, he played pretty trash, okay? We can agree there. Shot 20% from the field, 2 for 10. And he shot 0 for 4 from 3, obviously 0%. And he missed a free throw. He could have been a mile better. I mean, that was a horrible first half. We're talking about a potential, we're talking about a big-time blowout if he hits 3 shots in the first half. If he made those open three-pointers he had, the game would have just been sealed so much earlier.
Yeah, I agree. But
I'm gonna interrupt you one more quick
yeah,
second there. Joseph Ryan asked a
I
question.
got a question.
Yep. He said, so if Obi Toppin scores the most points this season on the Knicks, do you think we will try to keep him? Yes, Joseph. I guarantee you that we're gonna have Obi Toppin for the
We're
next
gonna
year.
at least.
Hopefully. I mean, I wouldn't say anything to jinx it, but Obi Toppin, he's a rookie, Joseph, so he's gonna be locked down for a while. He's
He's
be on
locked
the
down for
Knicks.
4 years.
He's locked down for 4 years unless we trade him away. But he had a
And
good.
is he restricted? He's got to be.
Oh yeah, and he'll be
So
he'll
we
be like
got a lot.
26 by the time that he's a free agent restricted. I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
old for a restricted free agent.
And if he's good, we'll lock him up for 4 or 5 years. If he's good.
Obviously, preseason game versus the Detroit Pistons, but I will say he played exceptionally well tonight.
He drove efficiently. I agree.
We'll get to
You wanna
him
touch
in
on
a
that?
little bit. I want to save him because we haven't finished talking about RJ yet. But
Oh, yeah, of course.
RJ, to end the game, he actually had 15 points. He kind of, I mean, I was hoping that he would improve on his shooting. And I said that in pregame, and I said, I know for a fact that RJ Barrett should improve. If he improves on his shooting, he's just going to all around be a better player, even with his passing, because you're going to see a lot more guys try and focus on him. Whereas tonight, they would, if I was the Pistons, I would have let the man shoot, quite frankly. I mean, it was awful.
But it was just one of those games. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But it's always been that. But he was terrible. It was just bad.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
next game, we'll see what happens. They play Sunday. He can change around. But hey, he had a weakness in shooting today, and then he took advantage and drove, and he was very good driving in the second half, like you saw. Like you said, 15 points. So if one's working, then go on the strength of that day. We'll see.
So we
It's
got
preseason. It was one game. We'll see what happens.
yes, sir. So just another interruption. We got 2 quick questions coming in through chat.
Okay.
We got footballing. Okay, he's coming in. He says Obi Toppin second in points per minute and tied for second rebounds. Pretty clean. I agree. He had a great game. We'll just get into Obi Toppin a little bit. He shot 4 for 9. That feels deceiving to me in a way almost because I know that he played a lot better than that. His defense could have been a mile better. I'll say that. I'm just gonna pull up what I'd written down. I'd written down some notes. Obviously, he needs to stay on the ground. That's something that we saw in college a little bit too. Is he falls for those easy pump fakes, right? So if he can kind of fix that part of his game and he can stay on the man on the perimeter, the NBA is a lot faster of a game. It's a lot faster pace, and if he can do that, that's going to make him just that exceptional player that the Knicks want him to be at some point in his career.
Yeah. Well, it's too early.
Yeah.
You just got to fill in the holes.
Of course.
But he's a senior, so he's already developed a lot. We don't have to wait too long for him to. It's a faster game, so we got to wait for that. But I feel like we're going to see a great player. He's ready, senior, and he'll be very efficient for us. And I thought he had a great driving game. He only shot 1 3, and it was very ugly, but it was just one game. But it was very promising what he did today.
So another question in chat: do I think that, or do we think at this point? I'm going to let you answer this one. I've been kind of hogging the questions a little bit.
Okay.
But
So
do you think that he's going to average more points than RJ Barrett this season?
Opie? Probably not. I think based off the minutes this year, Obi Toppin's a rookie. RJ's second year, he's going to get a ton of minutes. He's going to start. So I feel like RJ will have more points per game than Obi Toppin, but yeah.
We got our first caller coming in here. Let me answer
Nothing
that.
else to add to that.
Hello. Do you have a question?
So if you think about it, who do you think will play better in rebounds and stuff?
Who do I think is going to be the best rebounder on the team this year?
Hi.
All right, bye now.
Well, my question is.
Did you cut out? You're cutting in and out a little bit here.
Yeah.
Okay, I think your question is how are the rebounding going to be this season? How's the rebounding going to be? Okay. I did not end it. He did.
Okay.
All right. Let's address that question.
Yeah.
How is the rebounding going to be this season? I definitely think that Mitch is going to lead the team in rebounding. Although Nerlens Noel played a phenomenal game today. I mean, I was very impressed with how Nerlens Noel played with his starting role. I guess Tibbs made a good call on that, honestly.
Yeah, to address that question, I think Mitch, I think it all depends on minutes, to be honest. I think
100%.
whatever big man's going to get minutes is going to get the most rebounds.
That's
So
true.
if Mitch gets the most minutes, yeah, Mitch is going to get it. Nerling gets the most minutes, Nerling's going to get it. So
Agreed.
on
Couldn't agree more. I see my call was lagging, LOL. Okay. Well, we kind of covered RJ enough here, I think.
Yeah.
He didn't play
RJ slander.
All right. Yeah, he didn't play a good game. Okay. It happens. It's preseason. First game in a long time, 9 months. Give him a break, I'm giving everybody a break here, right?
Yeah, everybody deserves that game was sloppy.
At least we won.
Everybody deserves a break. We won. You're right.
Julius Randle. Well, we'll just kind of, if you're looking here, Zach, we'll go down by player category and the stats I have pulled up.
Okay.
So Julius Randle's up next here. It's really hard to say that Julius Randle played a bad game, especially his fourth quarter performance with that final shot there. What was it, the and one? Did he make the free throw? I keep forgetting.
I do not remember.
Okay, well, he got to the line. He hit that fadeaway jumper. Now, my one critique will be that Julius Randle does not always make that fadeaway jumper. We see him miss that all the time. It's not good shot selection. Yeah. And I definitely will say, although he shot semi-efficiently, I mean, 5 for 11 is okay. Even though he shot semi-efficiently tonight, I still really wasn't impressed that much. Like, the stats say that he had, what was it, 11 points. I thought it was like 8 rebounds, 6 assists. And it sounds really good. But I don't know. He doesn't fit in with our play style. So I don't really...
I agree with that.
Like, he's not a bad player, but he's a bad player on the Knicks. Just doesn't work.
I think he did okay. I think our team, we don't have a main scorer this year. We just have a lot of average guys.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see anybody blow up the stat sheet at this moment based off minutes as well. But I thought he did good for his shot 50% from the floor.
Yeah.
Or no, he did not. But
you shot about that.
Shot a little
45 and a half, close enough.
But
one more shot.
I got nothing to complain about it. Does that say he went 0 for 3 from free throw? Okay, so we missed that and one.
Yeah, you got to make those.
We missed every free throw. Yeah, we shot terrible from the line. Terrible.
It was kind of ridiculous.
You can't shoot that bad.
Moving on a little bit. Fine. Our assessment of Julius Randle is average to subpar. He was good. He didn't play terrible, but
nothing to complain.
I just don't like Julius Randle. It's hard. I really don't. I'm not a big fan.
Off season?
Yeah,
That off season just killed it for you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I cannot agree more.
Yeah. So let's move on a little bit. Nerlens Noel. Nothing but good things to say about Nerlens Noel tonight. Played phenomenal in my opinion. 5 for 7, 72% almost.
Mm-hmm.
What? Did he have how many rebounds did he have? He had 9 rebounds, right? No, he had 8 rebounds, 10 points. Didn't really care. I mean, he's not a passer, so 1 assist. He definitely had a block tonight, right? He had 2 blocks. 2 blocks and a steal.
Well, yeah.
One of those blocks that he had was kind of nasty, to be honest. I can't remember who it was on, but it was nice. I'll give him that much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he filled his role. He took minutes away from Mitch. But honestly, he played better than Mitch tonight. So give him props. Give him credit where credit's due. I
think Nerlens Noel's just a good. He's not a bad player. Just one of those average guys, and he filled the role. I think eventually we'll see Mitch start, but Nerlens Noel did his job. So if I see Nerlens Noel in the lineup and he puts that numbers up, not complaining.
True that.
He's just filling his role.
I agree. I see Connor kind of came back in the chat. He was talking about how Randle went 0 for 3 at the free throw line. Yeah, that sucked. That was horrible. The free throw shooting, we had one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the league last year. I feel like it was probably close to 60% or some crap like that. I mean, that's bad. And then he also said Nerlens Noel went 0 for 2 from the free throw line. I agree with you there as well, Connor. But I feel like that still doesn't take away from the phenomenal game he played tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give credit where credit's due, especially to and if you had watched the game, his defense was way better than Randall's defense. You see Randall jumping for these pump fakes too. It's the same problem Obi has. But I feel like eventually Obi will get that cleaned up. But Nerlens Noel, he was already a project. At this point, his career is what it is. He's probably the best he's going to be. And we can't really ask for much else. I mean, if he's a bad free throw shooter, he's a bad free throw shooter, whatever. Like, he's not going to, hopefully in the regular season, he doesn't get starting minutes. He might, but he doesn't, hopefully he doesn't get starting minutes. And he's just a guy who comes in off the bench, doesn't play the clutch minutes like he did tonight. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of moves on. I mean, we're going to kind of have to go through some average players here in order to talk about the big name dudes. But
Yeah.
Alec Burks, I thought that was a great signing by the Knicks. I didn't have any problems with it. It was one of those average things that I don't mind. But Alec Burks on a 1-year deal. He played his role tonight. I can't complain.
Yeah. I feel like it was just a guy they threw in the lineup. They didn't have anybody else they felt that should have played the 2. They could have put Knox in, but I guess they wanted to bring Knox off the bench. I don't know if they felt
very
better.
Disappointed. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was really disappointed that they didn't put Quickly in tonight. Especially,
I don't know what happened.
That kind of pissed me off.
Like, Reggie Bullock played a good game. I think he should have played, but Alec Burks?
Not over Quickly. I mean, yes, over Quickly, but
yes, over Quickly.
Not in a
but that many minutes
game.
in the preseason. 7. Come on, you
it's
gotta
like
put Quickly in there somewhere. It's preseason. Like, why do we need to? Why are we giving Alec Burks and Reggie Bullock minutes? Reggie Bullock got 12. Just playing.
I have to look over this one more time. I'm looking over at the highlights here. And we got a sloppy. This is one of the sloppy possessions. I can use it as an example here, right? And I'm sure this was a notable possession for you if you were watching, Zach. But look, we turn the ball over. Okay, Alec Burks doesn't get back on defense fast enough. Boom, they leave. Was that Josh Jackson went open? I don't know. And then look at the spacing here.
Yeah,
that's horrible. Obviously Tom Thibodeau is just as frustrated as I was yelling at my TV. And Julius Randle, he's like, what's going on? Who's playing up on Blake? You're playing up on Blake. That's your matchup. Play up, Julius, for one. RJ's all the way at the free throw line for whatever reason. Is that Alec Burks clogging the paint? Alfred Payton guarding Killian Hayes in the corner. Nerlens Noel slow to get back. And boom, wide open 3. I mean, do you expect him to miss that? That's Blake Griffin. That's an all-star.
Based off the shooting that night, it was terrible, but you can't leave them open like that.
You can't just
It's an NBA player. It's an all-star NBA player.
How much space are we talking about there? Blake is literally in the shooting form. He's pretty much going spot on here. He's got a wide open shot. That has to be better. I mean, you're even looking at Thibodeau. He's pissed. You see him in the top left there next to the ref. But boom, smacks the 3, calls the timeout instantly. And this is preseason. He's giving them a hard time in preseason.
Good.
I really like that. We need that intensity on our team. That's a necessary factor.
It's just basketball, preseason let alone. If you're going to make that mistake, we're in an NBA game.
That's a fact.
A professional basketball player should be able to play in normal zone or man.
Mm-hmm. Especially after that sloppy turnover. If I'm even in a regular game like that, like if we're talking about like a recreational game that I'm playing with my buddies, and I have a sloppy turnover like that, even without a coach, you best know that I'm gonna run back on defense because I can't get clowned twice. And the Knicks got clowned twice. I mean, play up.
Oh, and I remember that. Yeah, that was bad.
Oh shoot! I think the chat is a little messed up here. It's okay. I'll pull it up. Pull it up here instead. If Blake Griffin and Jay Crane hit their shot, they had an easy dub. I don't know about that. I don't know about easy.
Pistons were terrible too, but
yeah, they're pretty.
I think we got a little bailed out in that category where just 3-point shooting for them. Ours wasn't good, but theirs was just even worse.
It was just as bad.
I think their percentage was better. I could be wrong, but they took
Yeah.
way more shots than us.
Yeah, it was
so.
like I remember at halftime statistic, we were shooting terrible. I feel like we were shooting.
We were 2 for 12 at halftime,
right.
and then they were like 6
6
for 21.
22.
Oh, 6 for 22.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I honestly didn't expect them to shoot as well as they did. That sounds crazy, but
The Knicks?
I thought the Pistons, because the Pistons
okay.
suck.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about a team that's bad, I mean, you just lost to the Knicks in the preseason. I mean, you're bad. Not that they could have maybe won if like everyone had played their starters and stuff, but I don't know.
They played main dudes. They started Killing Hayes because it's preseason. They'll have to. Derrick Rose is going to start during the season, I would assume, but it's preseason. Get the new guy out for the fans.
Yeah.
Blake played, so they got their guys out there. They're really bad.
Oh. And we got Connor coming in the chat. 3 for 11 shooting by Blake Griffin and 1 for 11 shooting by Jeremiah Grant. Is it Jeremy or Jeremiah?
I think it's Jeremiah.
Okay,
Jeremiah. Or it could be Jermaine. I don't know.
Whatever it is, Grant.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that was pretty horrific. I'll tell you one thing. They signed Grant to a 3-year, $60 million deal in the offseason. I said that was the worst deal of the offseason by a mile. That's a Julius Randle deal. But at least Julius Randle is better than Jeremiah Grant. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got English class, Anthony coming in here. Obi reminds me of a Clippers Blake Griffin. That's a fair comparison. I'd say
it's a fair comparison.
Very
we got to
raw,
see more dunking.
Very true, yeah.
But it's one game, obviously. I'm going to just keep saying that. But during the season, we might see that. That's a good point.
Yeah, no, it's
a
very
great
true.
Comparison.
Let me just do one more thing so that the chat is a little bit easier accessible here. So let me just add this. You go ahead and keep talking if you want to talk about the next player down the list. I don't even know. I kind of lost track. But at this point, it's
we were on Elfrid Payne. Elfrid Payne, I was very impressed. He started. I think he's just a great professional basketball player. I wouldn't say like all-star caliber, but he's a great filler. I think he's a great facilitator. And I just remember this exact play of they were in transition and Elfrid Payne had an open layup, but he saw Randall cut and he just flipped it because he's unselfish. And that's what we need. We need this team has to be unselfish. We don't have a star player. We just need to facilitate, and that's what we got. I think Payton's a great facilitator.
I could not agree more with you. Payton, obviously his shooting has really never been on. We knew that he's not a shooter. But he played his role tonight. He passed the ball. He missed some open three-pointers, and they were really getting me a little tilted. But then I had to remind myself, okay, this guy is not that good.
He's not a shooter.
You shouldn't expect much from the guy.
I don't think we should expect scoring from him, but I think he's a great facilitator. And he might put up 10 if he's starting, getting a good amount of minutes. He'll put up his 10. But
100%.
We don't need him to score 20. We don't need him to score 17 at most.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I think that's the right guy they should be starting at point guard this year over everybody. And Dennis Smith got a lot of minutes too. He was a sixth man.
He did not play terrible.
No, it was Ntilikina.
How about this? Now let's just pass Robinson because I want to get to him a little bit later. Let's just hop on to Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was not super disappointed by Dennis Smith Jr. tonight. I didn't expect him to be any good, and he actually proved me wrong. He played okay. I think he hit a 3-point.
He hit a 3.
That takes a lot for Dennis Smith Jr.
That takes a lot.
Yeah.
They had to bring up his trainer after he hit the 3.
Yes, sir.
How bad he shoots.
But I'll definitely say he played a little bit better than expectations. He didn't shoot that many. He only shot 7 shots in 21 minutes almost, something like that. At least he had a positive plus-minus. I'll take that much, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he played fine. I didn't have a problem with it. But I also don't want him in the rotation in the regular season. I think Frank's better than him, honestly. Frank Ntilikina, in my opinion, although maybe offensively he didn't outplay him. In my humble opinion here. Wait, did he
I think we'll have to see more. Who?
They literally had the same exact amount of points offensively, and Ntilikina shot less shots and played less minutes. So yes, actually, I'm wrong. Ntilikina is better than Dennis Smith Jr. He's better at defense. He shot more efficiently. He deserves more minutes.
Hey, we'll see.
Yeah.
We gotta watch more games.
I mean, I've been really
I think
high
you
on
outplayed him
Frank for a
today,
while.
yes.
I've
But
been high on Frank for a while.
if Dennis Smith can perform, I think Dennis Smith has more potential.
Agreed.
But if that potential unleashes, then I think he's a better player, and I think he should be the sixth man. But
Yeah.
I think it's between them for the sixth man, and Austin Rivers is up there that we didn't see tonight. So
Yes.
I'm just upset that Quickly. I don't know. It's not looking good for Quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Minutes wise, with all these guards that we have over him.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we
wanna
may
get the
even
young
see
guy
him.
minutes, but
we might see him package. We might see him in the Westchester Knicks G League team at some point. We may even see him packaged in a trade midseason.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about trade. There's no reason. If he doesn't play any minutes, what's the point of trading him?
Yeah, true that.
It's not like they trade Iggy.
Yeah, but
Well, no, I don't know if
Iggy's
anybody
not
wants
that
Iggy.
good. Yeah, Quickly's got some good upside. Iggy not
That's
exactly.
true.
I mean, Iggy's not bad though. Anyway, Mitch reminds me of a very downgraded Rodman because all he does is get rebounds and no points. I wouldn't say that exactly. I'd say he had a terrible offensive night tonight, but he also only shot once. So, I mean, that's a lie because they didn't count some of the stuff, but he went for putback dunks, and I feel like they didn't count them.
Oh, they did?
He wasn't
Yeah,
making
like
the
when
putback dunks.
I remember at the end of the game, they were just trying to get a bucket and they couldn't get a foul. They couldn't get a bucket.
No. I mean, a big problem was the pick and rolls when we're working because, I mean, last season it was so stereotypical for Alfred Payton to ask for a screen. They do that little alley-oop play and it would always work, but guess what? Teams study that. Yeah. There's something called film sessions, and that's not going to work anymore. So Mitch has to learn how to stretch out his game so that they play up on him closer because when you set a screen and Mitchell Robinson is the receiver on the pass, just play back. He doesn't shoot threes.
Mm-hmm.
If you want,
that's what he was trying to work on, but I don't think
there's no point. His release is broken. It is broken.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear for Mitch is his scoring because every time I see these highlights, I just see him dunking. I see him catching alley-oops. So those alley-oops aren't there. He's not scoring that much. It'll be like maybe one layup, but that's it. So he's got to develop a skill of actually scoring without needing to rely on alley-oops every time.
We got our first, I'd say, serious controversial comment from.
He's not serious.
From Anthony here.
He's just throwing that in there so we could. There's no way he's serious.
We got Anthony saying, RJ's coming for an all-star season. You know what? I'll give you that, Anthony. He had a terrible first half. Phenomenal second half, though. I'm not going to lie. He didn't play bad in the second half at all. If you think about it, what was he? So what was he? He was, how many shots did he shoot? So he took field goal makes, field goal attempts. What was he in the first half of the game again? Didn't he have like 2 points?
He was like 0 for 6, I think, to start it. I don't know if it was in the first half, but to start the game, he was 0 for 6.
So here's the deal. He was 2 for 10, right? So take away 2 there. He went in the second half of the game. He went 5 for 6. He had a good second half.
That's a good second half, but it was all finishing. They were all layups.
Yeah, but you can't. I don't really care as long as he turned it up a little bit. I mean, he had 5 points, added 10 to the total in the second half. Wasn't terrible. He also just said Tyler Hero MVP in the chat.
I totally agree. Totally agree. I can't disagree more. I mean, agree more. My bad.
No, I couldn't disagree more either.
If Hero gets 30 minutes a game, I think he's putting up 30 points a game.
Okay.
I think 10
maybe
assists,
on the Knicks, not on the Heat.
And 8 rebounds.
Anyway.
And then he'll get like 5 steals a game, make him defensive player of the year. So.
Of course.
No.
Okay. So Obi Toppin, do you think he will get good blocks and stuff? No, I do not. Obi Toppin, very well known for not being a good defensive player. But I could see him maybe improving in that category this season. At least I hope so. Oh, our first Giant-related comment.
Let's go.
That's really all you, Zach.
That's on me.
I would love to have Anthony on at some point to talk Giants. That could be a special guest at some point. But for now, you go ahead. You talk Giants.
Okay, let's talk some Giants. So we got a game tomorrow. Or no, we don't. I thought it was Saturday for some reason.
Ooh, wow. A donation from Joseph. $3 donation. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you. So if the Knicks do really... I'm sorry. Let me pull that back up. I got to read that donation. I appreciate that, Joseph. Thank you very much. You go ahead about the Giants while I pull up the donation. Actually,
Okay.
not yet. I don't want to have to interrupt you. So just give me 2 seconds here. Let me read off that donation.
So
He said, so if the Knicks do really good this year, who do you think they would trade next year? That is a very good question, actually. Thinking ahead, I like it. So I think that the guy we're probably going to trade mid-season or next year is Julius Randle. Or at least I hope we trade Julius Randle. That is, he said, no problem. That is if we end up trading Julius Randle, I'd hope it'd be for just a pick, like a second-round pick, if we could just do a cap dump. And if we don't trade him, I see us maybe trading Austin Rivers to a contender mid-season. He's on a very, very friendly contract, and we don't need it. So I could see someone like the Lakers or the Clippers or maybe even the Sixers, who were actually on a team list that he was thinking about, trade maybe a second or potentially, if you package enough, a first-round pick for him. We got a first-round pick out of Marcus Morris from the Clippers last year, and that ended up turning into Emmanuel Quickley. So that was, it was a great trade. We turned Marcus Morris into Emmanuel Quickley, and honestly, even Miles Powell, considering we signed him in the offseason. But yeah, I think Julius Randle is definitely a trade block. Anybody on a one-year deal, the Austin Rivers of the world, the Alec Burks of the world, they're just all role players that contenders need. You got anyone else you think we could trade this season? I have some guys in mind, but
I definitely agree, Randall. I get maybe Nerlens Noel. I feel like just those vets we would trade. I think we just keep the young assets. Trade the guys that we just don't see in this future, like Randall. Definitely don't see Noel, I don't think, because we're not going to be good for a long time. So, Rivers for sure. Yeah, I feel like I don't think we're going to make that many trades. Too many.
Yeah. I could see
we didn't make that many this season or last season.
I could even see someone like a Dennis Smith Jr. or Frank Ntilikina being thrown into a Randall deal.
Okay.
If we're talking about, because I know we had that conversation a few days ago on the podcast, episode 1. Check it out if you guys haven't seen it. We talked a little bit about Buddy Hield.
We did.
And how maybe there's a chance he's on the trade block for the Sacramento Kings. And I stand by that fairly. I wouldn't mind having Buddy Hield on the team. We got to spend our money sometime. May as well spend it on a shooter. We've been desperately wanting and needing a shooter. Just do it. Just do it.
Shooting guard spot wide open over there with Alec Burks.
It is. I don't have a problem with it. If we could package, and I know this isn't going to be a popular opinion with you, Zach, but it's going to be what it takes to give up to get Buddy Hield. He's a really good shooter. I say we probably, if we want to keep onto our picks, Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickley, and Frank Ntilikina. That probably hurt me and you just as much because I know you're a Kentucky boy. You love Emmanuel Quickley. You're happy to see him on the Knicks. And I'm a huge Frank Ntilikina fan. I tell you that much. I love Frank.
Yeah.
But it's what it takes if you don't want to give up a pick. We're talking about a guy who's locked up 4 years, $90 million, 5 years, $90 million, something like that.
Yeah.
They're not just going to give that up. It's not a bad salary for a guy who can shoot the lights out like Buddy can. So.
Yeah, it just hurts the most. Not just because Quickley's a Kentucky guy. We just don't have shooters. That's just
very good point. Yeah.
And you're just taking away that shooter that we're not even using. So it just hurts because it's Emmanuel Quickley and he's one of our only shooters on this roster.
Yeah.
We're not using him. So if we want to make that trade,
yeah,
I'm still for it.
Help Emmanuel Quickley's career out a little bit, right?
Yeah, give him minutes.
Yeah.
At least, hopefully the Kings would use him.
Let's talk about Obi Toppin. Oh no, we already didn't we? Or did we? Not really. We talked about
him a little bit, but we didn't go down the.
Sure. Let's kind of get into the statistics version of Obi Toppin. I'd say he played a really good game today. I know we mentioned that. Shot 44.4%, 60% free throw shooter. Not a terrible start considering he was 3 for 5. 60% feels deceiving if he only missed 2 and made 3, so I'll give him that much. But yeah, he had 11 points. The 4 personal fouls is definitely something he needs to work on. He wrapped up some guys unnecessarily. I saw in the game, he's behind someone, right? Because he gets blown by. That's something he needs to work on.
Mm-hmm.
He gets blown by, and he hugs him pretty much. That's going to be a foul every time, and if you're unlucky, that's going to be a flagrant sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like,
yeah.
yeah, well, we're going to have to see his defense develop, but I don't know if he'll be the fastest guy. He's obviously the high flyer. We see a lot more offense than defense. I think we're always going to see that. Hopefully his defense, like I said, develops a little bit more, but I think overall we're not going to see a defensive superstar out of him.
Agreed.
But I liked what I saw out of him. I felt like he scored efficiently. The shooting, he only shot that 1-3. It was very ugly, like we said before.
that was pretty bad. But you know what?
If he gets open to the lane and just drives, we know he's
yes.
going to make it. We saw it tonight. So that was very... Hey, those passes, I don't know if you remember, he was like on the court sideline. He just threw it across to the other sideline to the other corner. That was
bad.
Come on.
But if you want to talk about passing, he had the ball probably around half court. He blew by his defender, threw a really nice pass to the corner. It might have been Randall or something. And it didn't actually turn into a shot, but he does have that court vision, and especially for that small forward, power forward spot, that's an evolutionary thing in the NBA. You see guys like LeBron James and the Kevin Durant's of the world, they have that type of vision too. And they're the big dudes. They're the big 4s and 5s of the world. So, yeah, I know. I could definitely see Obi developing into a really good basketball player. For a first game, though, I mean, I'm just critiquing him as a player at this point, but for a first game in the freaking NBA, dude, that was a really good game.
Yeah.
He came out with confidence. Confidence that I saw from RJ Barrett early last season.
We saw too much confidence in RJ in this game.
I'm really happy.
I didn't mean to bring RJ back up. We already slandered him enough.
No, that's okay.
Just because you brought up
it's nice to talk about him a little bit. I actually, and I know that he didn't shoot well, but I'm happy he kept shooting. Because if he had stopped shooting,
it doesn't matter.
Right. If he had stopped shooting after the first half was over, we'd be like, oh my God, RJ's awful. But proved us wrong in the second half. Scored 10 points, had the momentum going for us in the third quarter. But he needs to become that closer for us, or we'll have someone else do it. I mean, he wasn't the closer tonight, so we got some work to do with that.
Yeah. Who else we got? You want to talk about Kevin Knox?
Sure. Yeah, you start. How about that?
So, I felt I didn't really make that much of an impact, to be honest. But I don't know about you, but I saw him like hit that 1-3 on the elbow. I was like, that guy looked like Kevin Durant.
Knox.
Just his build. Not him as a player. Just the build. Like, the dude is literally shaped as Kevin Durant. Is he as good as Kevin Durant? Of course not. He'll never be Kevin Durant. Not even close. He won't even be an all-star. But he looked like Kevin Durant when he was shooting that.
Played nice. I won't lie. He played pretty nice tonight. I mean, the stats don't say everything. He had a positive plus-minus. That's something. He didn't shoot a very high usage. He went 2 for 6. Wasn't terrible. He didn't actually make a three-pointer tonight. But, yeah. No,
it wasn't a 3. It was a deep mid-range, though.
I'm wrong. Here's the deal. He played efficiency-wise. He didn't play too hot tonight. But if you take into account the mid-ranges he shot 2 for 3 from mid-range. So I guess maybe that's kind of more of his game. I guess he's kind of developing into more of like a Carmelo Anthony type of player at this point in time.
Yeah.
Defense isn't really there. Mid-range game, strong. 3-point game, average, although he didn't show it tonight. Free throws are something Kevin Knox needs to work on because we can't have Kevin Knox on the floor and then be a defensive liability, a 3-point shooting liability, and a free throw shooting liability. That's practically everything. I mean, you gotta play better, Kevin. I mean, we're talking about free throws at the NBA level. I mean, you were a guy, I mean, you watched him. I know you didn't like him that much in college, even as a Kentucky fan.
Yeah.
But what did you think about his shooting in college?
Let me break down Kevin Knox for you.
Okay.
So I watched almost every game that he played in Kentucky. My brother went to Kentucky. He played his freshman year at Kentucky. And the thing with Kevin Knox, it's always been day one. He's consistent or he's inconsistent. If he's consistent, he's scoring 20. I don't know about NBA, but in college, I'm going college.
Yes.
He'd score 20. If he was inconsistent, he's scoring 2 points. And I think we've seen a lot of that for him with the Knicks. Like, I don't remember, we went to a game. It was Knicks Heat. He was on fire in the first half. He's in a lot of shots. That's the consistent Kevin Knox. see a lot of inconsistent Kevin Knox, a lot. Too much. But if we see consistent Kevin Knox, you got to leave him on the court.
It's true.
But inconsistent, goodbye. But
by the way, Zach, while you were talking, helped you out a little bit.
Fix my camera.
Fix your camera up. See the Giants in the background there. See the
we
football.
got the Giants.
And you know what? Before we forget,
Bucks.
Let's talk Giants a little bit. What are you thinking?
Yeah, let's talk Giants. So we got a game on Sunday. We got Arizona Cardinals. We got 4 games left in the season.
Sorry, give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Giants.
Oh, you want to look up the schedule for me?
No, actually, I'm looking up the highlights.
Oh, okay. Bet. So we got 4 games left in the season. We got the Cardinals on Sunday. Got the Browns. We got flexed to a Sunday night football game. Giants primetime. Just saying that. Haven't been a primetime game. Don't blame anybody. But then we got the Ravens and the Cowboys. So you were talking about playoff hopes. I think we're 5-7 right now. I think we go 8-8. And I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
I think we win tomorrow. I think we just beat Russell Wilson. We beat the veteran version of Kyler Murray. Will Kyler Murray develop into a better player than Russell Wilson? Maybe. Probably. Potentially. Russell Wilson's very good. But we made Russell Wilson look really foolish out there on Sunday. So I think a banged up Kyler Murray that we're going to be facing on Sunday, and he's been playing terrible. Cardinals have been playing really bad. DeAndre Hopkins is banged up, and that's not good, but for us, because we have Bradbury, but nobody else is great corner-wise. I was surprised how good we played defense versus the Metcalf Lockett, because we really only have Bradbury out there. So I'm very happy with this Giants team. This defense is incredible. Offense not going to put up great numbers, but we got Daniel Jones back next week. It's great to have Daniel Jones back. He's been playing amazing football, but I don't think he's going to light up the scoreboard. He's never has. So I think we'll see a close game on Sunday versus the Cardinals. Cardinals lost to the Patriots, lost to the 49ers. Not playing good football. So I think we take the dub there. Then we play on Sunday night football. I'm very excited for that game. Finally flex, like I said before. I think it's going to be a very close game. And why? I think the Giants pull it off because we're hot. I think we're a better team than the Browns. I think we're going to make Baker Mayfield look stupid. I think this defense is just so good. If the defense doesn't play well, we're not winning any game. We're going to lose every single game. But relying on this defense, if everybody stays healthy, Joe Judge, our coach, is amazing. He's keeping everybody locked in. Everybody feels like we want to win. We started the season 1-7, and I feel like the team did not feel like we were 1-7. I feel like if we go back to all these games, I know it's not on the screen, but we played the Bucks. We should have won that game. Played the Cowboys earlier in the season. We should have won that game.
I got you on the screen, Zach.
Thank you. Should have beat the Bears week 2. So if we win all those games, really good. So I think we're going to go 8-8. And we're playing the Cowboys last week. I didn't clarify that.
You think they're making the playoffs? You think they're going 50,
100%.
Zach?
100%.
All right.
That's all we need in this division.
Wow, confidence. I mean, Cowboy or Browns, sorry, they lost.
Cowboys are a joke in our division. Eagles are a joke in our division. Like, they're benching Carson Wentz. That's a joke.
What's the deal
Carson Wentz has been terrible, but
what's the deal with Lamar Jackson? I mean, we're going against the Ravens.
I think we'll lose
against
the Ravens. Lamar's back. He had COVID for the game against the Steelers on Wednesday afternoon football. But yeah, I think
we got a call. We got a caller coming in here.
Oh, okay.
How you doing?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. You got a question tonight?
Connor?
Yeah, so I was just going to get your guys' opinions on the uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Uniforms.
How are you liking the uniforms this year?
Are we talking about the city jerseys if you've seen them, or are we talking about the regular ones?
Both of them. Give us the opinions.
Okay,
yeah.
I appreciate the call.
For sure.
So I'm thinking, all right, the city jerseys, they're kind of growing on me a little bit. I didn't like them at all at the very beginning of the year.
You want to pull them up?
I will. Yeah, I'll pull them up. But yeah, I think that it's probably worse than the city jerseys we had last year. But quite frankly, I really don't expect much from the Knicks design team at this point. They're just absolutely awful. So I'd say that it's like all right. I'm not crazy about it, but it's not the worst thing in the
There we
world.
go.
Alright, sweet.
And the regular jerseys, the regular ones, I'm fine with them. I got no problem. They've been the same jerseys for the last 10 years. So
Longer than that.
yeah, we'll stick with them. But I really do appreciate the call. Thank you for calling in. And I hope to hear from you soon again.
Of course.
All right. Have a good one. So I appreciate all the callers so far tonight. If you're watching the live stream and you haven't yet, call in with any questions or comments you may have about the Knicks. You can call it 203-961-3409, top left of the screen. Let's get back into some more Giants. I appreciate the call.
Yeah. Where was I? Oh, we were talking about the Ravens.
We were.
I think without Lamar, then we're talking Trace McSorley football because RG3's out for the year.
I'm not going to lie. He didn't play terrible in the
He
games
didn't play
he
terrible,
played, so
but
don't
let's be
sleep.
real. If he's starting a whole game, I think we're fine. But we're not going to get Trace McSorley. We're going to get Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson's going to give it to us. But you can never – I think it will be a close game because every single game for this Giants team is close. Defense makes it close every single week. So I feel like it's going to be a close game. I think we're going to lose to the Ravens.
Okay.
And yeah, so we'd win 3 of 4 left in the year. Browns are always Browns are a toss-up. After last week versus the Titans, they were very good.
Okay.
But it depends what team we get versus the Browns.
So let's kind of talk a little bit more about – okay, let's just lay it out straight up.
Okay.
Cardinals, Giants, win or loss?
I think win.
Okay.
I think
Browns,
that's a very definite win.
Browns, Giants.
I think it's a toss-up, but if I had to put money on it, I'm taking my Giants.
Okay. Giants, Ravens, we just covered that. Loss.
And the Ravens get it, yeah. We're on the
Cowboys,
road.
Giants.
I think that's a win.
Yeah.
99.9% win.
I'm sorry, I'm such
Browns
a
are-
terrible
Cowboys are
football
terrible.
fan, but
Yeah.
they
It's
lost
kinda
Dak
mine.
Prescott, right?
They lost Dak Prescott. They have a terrible defense.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We're only sitting at 4
Andy
games left
Dalton's a
in the whole
good
year.
backup. You couldn't ask for you can't really get better than Dalton as a backup, but it's not Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's a top
Right.
9-8 quarterback in this league. So it's the biggest hit, and their defense wasn't good. They lost Byron Jones in the offseason. Defense wasn't written up well to start the season, and it's been terrible. It's gotten worse. So
And here's my question. Actually, here's a
here's
good
the Giants.
question.
Here's this game.
For a
Overall
more non-casual fan here. In your opinion, who does Daniel Jones in particular? Because he's going to be our starting quarterback for a while. We got to get used to that. Who does he remind you the most of historically?
That's the thing. He doesn't remind me of anybody.
Okay.
Daniel Jones is his own dude. He
Good
throws
and bad.
he could throw a deep ball. He hasn't thrown it that much in the last couple of weeks because he's just been going short. That could be use of playbook. That could just be they don't trust him anymore. But hey, whatever they're doing is working because he hasn't thrown it like a turnover in 3 weeks. In his last 3 weeks. So whatever he's doing is working. Just keep going with it. But why I don't compare him to anybody is because why I think they drafted him is because they reminded him of a mini Eli Manning.
Okay.
But we see Daniel Jones scrambling. We see him getting out of the pocket. He ran 22 miles an hour. He fell over, but he ran 22 miles an hour.
I do remember seeing that. I mean, he had a comeback that same game, didn't he? Where he also had another run. He actually successfully completed it, or was that the game?
That was the next game versus the Eagles.
Okay, just trying to remember
But,
the timeline. It's been a little while.
Same team. It was just the
okay.
next game we played the Eagles. Oh, is this the clip? Yeah, this is the clip.
Yeah,
Okay.
ironically
We're
enough,
just gonna
this
watch
is
him
the
run
clip.
22 miles an hour and just trip
Pretty
at the
good.
10.
No,
He's going
yeah.
so fast, his legs can go up. With
That's
him,
really
and there
sad.
he
Top
goes.
highlights so far is what this is supposed to be called. I mean, it is a highlight. He ran.
It's a highlight.
Good
It was
70
80
yards, 80. Oh yeah, 80
something.
something yards. Okay, damn.
That's really good.
Especially for a quarterback, because honestly, if that was me, I'm getting tripped. I'm getting my ass kicked within the first, I don't know, 10 yards of that play. Someone's catching up to me. So,
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, that's elite play from a quarterback, and
Yeah.
especially to attribute. I mean, they started the year. You're seeing here 1-7, and they
Yeah, we
really
started
had
1-7. We
big
won 4 in a row.
comeback.
Won 4 in a row.
So they have
Playing
good
amazing.
momentum too. Okay, that's
Playing
something
great
that
momentum.
I,
This
as
is
a
why
fan,
we're
did
playing
not know.
top football.
Okay.
And Daniel Jones is not turning the ball over. He's playing really well. Got hurt versus the Bengals in like the second quarter.
What was the injury?
Was it third? It was a hamstring.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's a hamstring strain, but it's nothing severe. You should hopefully he plays Sunday. I think more than likely he will. You missed versus the Seahawks. We won with Colt McCoy. But I've talked to like my brother, and I feel like Colt McCoy, that thing was a one-time deal. I think if he plays on Sunday, nah, we're not winning.
Okay.
I think that he was set up for that one game. I feel like if a team studies Colt McCoy, there's no way he can
Colt
put
McCoy's
that performance off
our
again.
backup or third string or whatever.
He's our backup. He played on Sunday. He started for
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
I watched a little bit of that game actually on Sunday.
Yeah. We pretty much ran the ball. We got carried by the run. We couldn't score in the first half.
Mhm.
We turned actually our second drive, I believe. Colt McCoy was throwing the ball pretty well, and then Evan Ingram, he threw to Evan Ingram, and it popped off his hands and ricocheted into the air, and it was picked off. And that was pretty much his only good throwing drive. But for the 2 times we scored touchdowns, we pretty much ran the ball down the field. It worked, but I don't think it's going to work again. So I feel like we need Daniel Jones on Sunday if we want to win.
Now here's another question.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's assume Saquon, he comes back, but he's not the exact same dude, right?
Mhm.
Because, okay, let's be honest. ACL injuries, they do kind of affect athleticism. It's just a known fact at this point. What do you do in the long term with Saquon? I mean, not that we're
I think
looking
he'll
that
be
far
fine.
ahead. You think he'll be fine, but I'm talking
100%.
about worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario?
Yes.
Worst case scenario, I think he's still a better starter than anybody. We have Wayne Gallman, who's great for what we need him to be this year, but I still think Saquon. I don't even think we have to think about this issue, but if we do have to think about it, I think that Saquon Barkley will still be a better player. Unless he loses his speed, then we have a different story. But I think we don't even have to think about this right now. I think he's got the whole mentality that he'll be a better player. I think he thinks right now that he'll be a better player, and
That's good.
I think
That's a good
all we need.
mindset.
He'll be a great. I think he'll be totally fine.
I just like to preach out to the viewers that are on the stream right now. I appreciate it. 8 concurrent viewers right now. All I can say is that me and Zach, I know we both really appreciate the support. I appreciate that donation earlier, coming in from Joseph, the $3 donation. It means a lot. And we're just here. We're talking Giants. We're talking Knicks. I feel like
put it in chat if you got any questions.
Exactly. Even call in. I'll say it again. 203-961-3409. We're answering calls for questions, opinions, thoughts, any of that sort of stuff. Giants, Yankees, Knicks. I'm more of the Knicks guy. Zach can answer Knicks questions just as well as I can, but if we're talking about Giants, that's him. That's not me. That's all him. So go ahead, call in with any questions you might have. I appreciate
If we got any Yankee fans out there, it's off
100%,
season.
100%.
Ask questions. I'm down.
Yeah, Zach's all
I'm
with
all
that.
here. I'm all here for all 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I kind of want to veer back to the Knicks here, considering I did title the stream the Knicks post-game analysis. I'm not trying to mislead the viewers, I swear. But let's kind of get back into the Knicks highlights, Knicks versus Pistons. I know we didn't finish talking about the players here. Okay, so let me pull that back up real quick. I'm going to actually make a whole separate Giants tab and Yankees tab. I'll get to that, but we're still new. We're still new. We're working on it. Got the new House of Highlights video I'm playing up here. Same highlights, just different people that uploaded it. But I know we kind of stopped at Kevin Knox, but someone who I was really intrigued by, and I mentioned earlier in the comparisons, Frank Ntilikina. I really want to talk about this guy. Frank is, in my opinion, one of the most slept-on players in the damn league. I know he doesn't back it up offensively, but he's the guy who locked up Luka in every game we played against the Mavericks this season. I'm pretty sure we swept the Mavericks in our season series, and I'm pretty sure the only reason for it is Frank. He locked up Luka on every possession. I remember watching Porzingis' return game last season, and I swear to you, Luka got messed up by Frankie Ntilikina. Man, stats don't say it, but he's one of those guys who's really essential to our team, especially having Peyton as our starting point guard. I mean, if we're talking about defense, he is not it. Although he played pretty good tonight, he's not it defensively, so we'll see what happens. But
I think out of these point guards, we don't need scorers.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We don't have scorers as our point guards, which is good. We don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need a Westbrook scorer. We don't need a Cole Anthony, if you want to call him a scoring machine point guard.
Sorry, I missed a lot of comments here. The chat wasn't speeding up, and I had to pull it back up. But we'll go all of them one by one here. I'm forgetting about Miles Powell. I think Miles Powell, he didn't play, but I think there's going to be a lot of Westchester Knicks for him coming up next season.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I don't think we can really talk about Miles Powell as much as we did in our first podcast because we haven't seen anything new.
Yeah, and I mean, we see Connor asking why aren't they using the shooter. Anthony said that he's an amazing shooter and horrible passer, I think, if he was referring to Miles Powell. But I totally agree. He's not. I wouldn't say he's a horrible passer. He's had his plays. He had his time there. But he's primarily a shooter. He's kind of like Quickly in that sense, where they're just good shooters. They're efficient players. Or Miles Powell isn't super efficient, but, Anyway, I see Joseph asked a question here. If the Knicks get another pretty good player for the next season, how far do you think we'll get? I think to answer that question, I'd be getting a little too hyped up. So that's a typical Knicks type of question, that a lot of people get asked. We're not getting anybody next offseason. Not if we win 20 games or less. I mean,
we gotta just bet on young assets at this point. Nobody wants to come to the Knicks.
Giannis is not coming to the Knicks. Okay. LeBron signed his extension. Paul George is gone. He's signed his deal. And I'm happy he did because I hate the deal. I think it was a horrible signing.
I don't understand it.
But it also means the Knicks don't have room to mess up and give him money. So I will take that.
Do you really want to come to New York, though?
If you give him a bag, anything could happen in my
opinion. If we gave him $225.
Well, I don't think
anybody signed that.
But if we gave him $190, he'd take it.
That's his guaranteed.
It would be a $190 4-year deal, which is what we would give him.
Okay.
So I'm happy we didn't give him that. Let's see. I think we've kind of almost covered all the Knicks players. Reggie Bullock, he was a guy who played for us last season. I was very happy we re-signed him. I don't know how Zach feels about him. I'll let you kind of rant on about him if you wish.
I don't really have much bad to say about him.
Yeah.
I just feel I don't really have bad to say. He played good. Mm-hmm. I feel like I was slandering him at first because I like to have the young guys playing, but if a guy like that is more stable at this point in his career, you don't have to worry about him trying to develop because he's not going to develop into anything better. You play him if you want to win, but we're talking preseason right now. I feel like they should get the young guys more minutes, see how they play. But
I agree.
You got to have him play. He hasn't played in 9 months, so you got to give everybody minutes.
I kind of didn't even take that into account now that I'm thinking about it. A lot of these guys, maybe Thibodeau's just trying to get these guys warmed up. It doesn't mean that they're not going to get minutes during the season, the young guys, but they have to still prove themselves. They've practiced with each other for 3 weeks. This is a rushed season, okay? And that's something that can't be argued because we're rushing the preseason, we're rushing the regular season, and if we're talking about 72 games, sure, it's less, but the schedule is still jam-packed.
Yeah.
So
unless they're playing simulated games in those practices, I don't think they're playing 2 hours and 30-minute simulated games.
No.
So you gotta get them warmed up into an NBA basketball game.
100%.
So you gotta play everybody, but I hope the young guys get in there in at least one of these 4 preseason games.
So I see we've reached the hour mark on the stream. I appreciate everyone for stopping in. I don't think we should end the stream yet. I don't think we have to. But if we're talking about player analysis, we've kind of covered that. Now, I feel like a more comfortable thing now to talk about is Thibodeau. Our first game reaction, because Thibodeau As a coach, I was 50-50 on. I'm happy we signed him, but it was also bittersweet because I really did like Mike Miller. I won't lie. I thought he was good. We should have retained him as an assistant, but I was happy about the Mike or the what's his name?
Payne?
No, well, Kenny Payne, yes, but also Mike Woodson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was happy about the assistant coaching that we signed. I just thought Mike Miller had to definitely. I think he's on the OKC staff, which I think is a total steal for them. They have one of the better, in my opinion, young development coaches. I mean, he was a G League coach, for God's sake. You really only see young dudes in there. So he was a good young development coach, and I thought he played good for us, or he was a good coach for us the second half of the year. But I will say, the rotations weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. I was, at first glance, seeing Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. on the floor at the same time as the point and shooting guard. I was really confused. I mean, we're talking about second rotation of the game. You put DSJ out there, you put Frank out there, two guys who have proven that they just can't shoot the three ball. And in this modern day game, we're talking about needing guards who can shoot threes. And you just didn't put them on the floor? I don't understand.
Yeah, you put all the developing guys on the floor. Like
Yeah,
all five of them.
the Franks and DSJs of the world, is that what you mean? Or,
And the Kevin Knoxes, the
Yeah.
OBs.
but
the
that
Knicks.
also leaves it up in the air. Why didn't she just throw in? And I know you want to see who the closer is for this team, but we were up by 18 at one point. We could have put Quickly and Miles in at that point in the game, and there would have been no problem. And if you started falling down again and you really wanted to win a preseason game that badly, take him out. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't hurt.
I think we'll see the closer as Julius Randle.
I think that's going to be
As the
very,
season.
very, very bad.
I think.
We're
Well,
gonna see
you
Julius
have another
Randle.
guy.
He's going to take the ball. He's going to dribble. He's going to put it in between the legs once. Then he's going to do a crossover. And if he doesn't get it stolen at that point, he's going to run in, do a spin move, and lose it.
Hey, you got a better
actually-
guy?
You know what?
Are
I'd
we really
honestly,
gonna be
I'd rather
gonna
give it to
try?
RJ than
Are we
Randle.
driving or are we shooting?
Well, if we're doing both, if we're doing either, I'll give it to RJ because he's better than Randall at both. I mean, Randall's not a
Well-
good shooter. RJ's not a great shooter either, but he's better than Randall.
That's the thing. I'm talking. Yeah, I'd say finishing. I'd honestly rather give it to
Actually,
Randall.
if we're talking about shooting, give the ball to Reggie Bullock. He's a veteran. He's experienced.
That's a
and
good
he's
point.
a sniper.
Yeah.
So give it to Reggie if you want to run a three-point shooting play. But if you're talking about driving, give it to RJ.
That's our big problem.
In that Houston game last year, he drove on PJ Tucker, who's one of the best defenders in the league, gave him contact, and then made the shot. That should have been an and one, by the way. And I mean, that was a closing play right there. That actually ended the game. So I guess RJ Barrett, he's our designated finisher, and that is only if Obi doesn't live up to expectations there. If Obi is driving to the basket, taking contact, and making his shots, give the
Oh, you
ball
give it
to
to Obi.
Obi. Oh my God. But that's, I'm just talking first preseason game. The games don't really matter. We can't really look too far into them until we actually have a consistent streak of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought, aside from the first half, if you literally cut out the first half of the game, RJ Barrett played an amazing game. Which really sucks, because if he had just played a good first half, that was like an elite game for him.
Yeah, as long as he gets the 3-point shooting. That's my only thing about. That's all I'm worrying about. Because we saw all these points, but they were all finishing.
Yeah.
They were consistent. We like to see that, but at the end of the day, he's an NBA player taking layups.
Yeah,
But
good
as
point.
long as he's able to shoot,
If he's taking the
he
contact and
shoots the three
finishing,
ball.
if he's taking the contact and finishing though, Zach, I'll give him that.
Yeah, but a lot of those buckets, we kind of saw wide open layups. We didn't really see
Yeah,
that. Did we
sure.
see that much contact?
I saw some contact.
Did you see it? But all of it. That's what I mean.
No, but I mean,
Majority was wide open.
I'd say it's a good thing that we're getting wide open shots. I mean, it means we're spacing the floor finally how we should.
Yeah, this was a very sloppy game.
Yeah, and we
We're
played
playing the
against the
Pistons.
Pistons. So
We're playing the
You
Pistons.
just can't look too far into it. Like I keep trying to remind myself, this is the worst team in basketball. Honestly, the two worst teams in basketball, and they only won by 6. Now, more realistically, I'd say that we won by 9 because they hit that 3 at the buzzer. But what's the difference, right? I'm going to look back
That
at the
doesn't
highlights if you want to take a look at this. I was impressed with this bucket. by RJ. I think this is something he probably worked on in the offseason in particular, because I could tell he definitely improved his mid-range game. That to me is not a question. He was not making shots from here last season. It was more of an issue of, oh wait, let me pull this away.
Yeah.
It was an issue of him taking these open mids and just clanking. Today, I didn't see him do that at all. I saw him miss a lot of three-pointers, though, which is something I wish he had worked on in the offseason. I don't know if he did. He probably did.
He probably
had a bad
did.
shooting game.
He just had a bad day.
But this play right here in particular, I was very, very pleased with that. That's something.
That one of his first shots. I think that
was in the second quarter, probably the first shot he made.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was his first shot he made.
But I would really hope that he can finally step it up with the percentages this season. The preseason first game, not too hot, but then again, I mean, we're not talking about a real game. He's probably just throwing up shots, wasn't 100% focused, hasn't played in 9 months. Not really going to give him too hard of a time about that. I would give no one a hard time about that. That's why I'm so high on Obi now, is because Obi, he made all those necessary shots. I mean, he didn't make any threes, but he was making some contact, some hook shots. We know that's his game, and I didn't know. I thought to myself some nights, I said, will that translate to the NBA level? And it's looking like it will in his first game there. I mean, we're talking about a team that signed all these bigs and power forwards, and he's going against some, like, you sub out, who's their starter? The Pistons. Who'd they start tonight? Yeah, for their power forward center position.
Power forward center? They started Plumlee. Was it Plumlee?
Plumlee or Jeremiah Grant?
And Griffin. Plumlee, Griffin, and Grant played the three.
That doesn't sound like the most appealing center and power forward. That's not a question.
No.
But there's some big, strong dudes. And you can't deny that. And Obi made light work of them for the most part. And he had a very good ball handling sequence a little bit later in the game. I have a feeling it was in the third quarter somewhere, but I really don't know where. Anyway, he had a really good ball handling sequence. I was very impressed. I don't know if I'll find it in this highlight video here. I'm sure it's there. But I was surprised. I kind of thought to myself, I was like, Obi can do that? Like, he's nice like that? Guess he is. He was early fourth. Kind of just trying to look into it here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So here we go. It was early fourth quarter. I mean, I didn't know Obi had handles like this, especially taking the contact, making the shot. I don't think he made the free throw after that. But at the end of the day, if you can make that and get to the line, that's an elite NBA play. And we don't see that a lot. I just hope that Julius Randle doesn't teach him that dumb spin move. I think that'll be really toxic for him.
Yeah. That's a good point. But, yeah. I think his game will translate. I think he's very crafty in today's NBA.
Yeah.
I don't think you see a lot of guys that just don't translate, especially with his talent.
And the last thing I do want to kind of talk about here is Pistons Knicks. I'm going to pull up the stats just because I want to look a little bit into Killian Hayes before we get off here. Killian Hayes is someone that I was high on. He obviously got picked right before. I honestly think if they had taken Obi at that 7th pick, we would have either gotten Killian Hayes on our roster or we would have gotten what's his name? Tyrese Halliburton. Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, Killian Hayes played like what I expected him to. He played good. I didn't necessarily have a problem with it.
Yeah. It's just one game. Well,
sure.
You gotta watch Killian Hayes throughout the year and see.
Pretty sure he didn't play the hottest game tonight.
No,
for whatever reason,
I don't believe so.
Can't find the stats tonight, which is kind of a shame. But we won't look too far into it. Killian Hayes is a fine prospect, and I think he has a bright future in this league, quite frankly. It's just whether or not he decides to put in the work, and I think he will. Those European players, they always put in work. I don't know what it is, but they work hard. Luka Doncic, Dirk Nowitzki, Porzingis, they put in the work. And that's Giannis, too. I mean, God, they play hard.
It's a well block.
If you have anything to add, Zach, I'm gladly here to listen. but we've been on for about an hour and 10 minutes. Very productive podcast. I so appreciate all the viewers that have joined.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully we can go live on Sunday with a pregame and then a postgame analysis. I'd love to do that. Kind of dive a little bit deeper into the Knicks. See how they do. We're playing the Pistons again, so hopefully if we spotted any inconsistencies this game, we find next game that they're fixed.
Yeah. We'll talk about that at pregame.
Yeah, that's more.
That'll be our pregame.
I do have some stuff that I hope for the Knicks, and I want to talk about it. But saving it for next podcast is probably more appropriate, so that we have
we'll save that for the pregame.
Right.
So we have something.
So.
I feel like we covered every player. We covered the minutes. I think this was very good. I think we got everything covered this one game.
100%.
And we sprinkled some Giants in there.
Yes.
We could talk about the game.
Hopefully we can get one of our buddies on. I won't release his name yet. I want it to be a surprise when he hops on here. But hopefully we can get someone else on. Not sure, but hopefully we can get someone else on at some point. Talk Yankees and Giants with Zach. Considering I'm not the best talker about.
Yeah, I need some help.
I know you do. But hopefully we'll look further into that. And also, if you guys do want to see more of this Yankees Giants content, I'll put in the work. I'll study it. I'll watch the games. But please leave comments. You can always reach me via call while we're on stream if you want to talk more about that. But yeah. I think overall a very productive podcast. I think we dove a little bit deeper into the players and their analysis and stuff like that. We even talked a little bit of Giants, like Zach said. So I think I'm comfortable calling the stream quits. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. I really can't force you to do anything, so do what you wish. But have a good night, y'all.
Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the viewers.
And have a good night, everybody.